those that hate you. Posted 50K on my page to motivate you. Get it like Rayful, perk 30s and Maple. Whatever it takes to get that paper like Staples. I'm too weighty for this shit. Dropping every week, niggas waiting for the disc. Getting show money, couldn't pay me for this. Calmed up, waiting till it's 80 on the wrist. Then powerhouse, turned myself back in. Went to court at 9 o'clock, I was out by 10. Old rappers keep talking about way back when. I'm hot right now, I wasn't born way back then. These new rappers like Tim's that I got break in. Glorify all my losses and hate my win. Show a nigga love, then you on some Joe shit. Don't show him love, then you on some hoe shit. I'm here now, I don't care who you go get. Or about your block, or who you roll with. Your code D a rap, that's the one you told with. I should spin your block and give you the whole clip. Hurt like hell, niggas ain't worth my shells. I just eyeball the work, you ain't worth my scale. I ain't flop yet, niggas said I'm not gon' sell. That's like a brick with nothing on it, niggas not gon' sell. Y'all niggas hate me, fuck that, I hate y'all too. Bo Jackson with the raps, I play baseball too. Spray the K like a Nazi, bring Adolf through. Hate when a nigga try stunt when he ate off you. Your women crash Wednesday, my throwback Thursday. I ain't picking up for nobody, this my curve day. Muslim, but I gave them turkeys out on birthday. Might just violate, go to France for my birthday. When I came home, all my hoes said they missed me.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are back to Big Men Campus. We are live Friday, April 7th, 2017. I am the Big Men on Campus here, back with you live, breaking down a Friday card for you. Plenty to do. You got Major League Baseball. You got NBA. You got Billy Walters. You got Syria. You got all sorts of stuff to talk about today. We'll break it all down. I'll give you my opinion on Billy Walters. I've followed him for a long time. He's one of the true heroes to me in this business. We'll get into that a little bit later. We'll also talk about everything in the world of NBA. Last night, NBA 0-2, which I haven't been 0-2 in NBA for a while. I lost on the Portland game over, which looked good through three quarters, and then they just stopped scoring in the fourth. Also lost with the Celtics, which the Celtics continue to embarrass. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Welcome to everyone out there. If you tuned in earlier to the right side of campus, thanks for tuning in. We went over some of the early games. The Pirates game, which, the continued trend now in baseball is bullpens. I mean, that game got interesting. That was a 4-0 game. Braves made it interesting. Pirates end up getting the win there. You looked at that game, 4-0. I kind of mentioned I thought the Pirates would really kind of show out. I thought the run line might have been a good play in that game just so you didn't have to lay the big number. But, Braves come flying back and get a cover of the 1.5. Don't win the game. So if you had the Pirates straight up, you got the chicken. A great game in Detroit today. Detroit went 6-5 against the Boston Red Sox. Great game there. I watched most of that one. A very interesting game. Mike Fulmer against Steven Wright. Sorry. Boston goes down 4-0. Another indication there. Bullpen comes in for Detroit, blows it. It's a 5-4 game. Bottom of the eighth, the Tigers scored 2 off a Mikey Matuk double, which, look, I mean, if you're Austin in that spot, I didn't understand putting him in the game. He's never had a hit as a pinch hitter, but he made me eat my words there, and they get the win. A nice job by Rodriguez in the 9 to close the door. So a nice win for Detroit, but a continued issue with bullpens. Great day. And yeah. I gave that out as the play of the day on the show this morning. I just didn't see a situation where the Nationals would play, wouldn't have a big day in that one. I thought I'd see a crooked number from them. And, look, we mentioned it. I mean, Max Scherzer is, against the Phillies, pretty automatic. I mean, it's very unlikely that he doesn't pitch well against the Phillies. I mean, luckily today he's gotten 7 runs of support. But, you look at the Phillies today, 2 hits through 5 innings. I mean, this team struck out 33 times against the Reds, which, look, we all know the Reds, not exactly good. You struck out 33 times. I mean, Scherzer's just been surgical as always so far. Only 5 strikeouts, really just kind of controlling this lineup. This Phillies team has, I think they're worse than they were last year. I thought last year, if you remember, early in the season, they got really lucky with a lot of lucky wins. They had a bullpen that looked on the surface to be really bad, but ended up somehow winning some games early on and tailing off. But I think they're really going to struggle to win 70 games this year. They're just not very good. You look at their starters. I mean, your 2 starters are Buchholz and Hellickson. I mean, just not good enough. Your bullpen sucks. The lineup, as far as that's concerned, not a ton to get excited about. And you look at yesterday, you score runs, but you lose. It's just, as far as under 74, Joe, that's a great bet. I think you should be pretty much golden with that, especially being in this division with the Mets and the Nationals. You're gonna have trouble. Marlins are a better club, and I hate to say it, but I think the Braves are slightly better. I mean, how are the Braves not better than the Phillies? I mean, at least the Braves have, some sort of pitching semblance. I mean, Teheran's a good pitcher. Fulton Avitz has some good stuff. We all know Bartolo Colon. They got Jaime Garcia over from the Cardinals. I mean, they have a decent staff. I mean, they definitely upgraded from what they had. Bullpen's still a major issue. But you look at the lineup. I mean, you have some power. I mean, they added Brandon Phillips. Markakis is a very good player. Kemp still has some pop. A great young player or getting there, and Freddie Freeman. I think Freddie Freeman, as far as he's not a totally young guy anymore, but he's still one of the better first basemen in the league or in baseball. I mean, I don't think it's even close. I think the Phillies are much worse. Yeah, they're not built. They're not built for any park, really. I mean, they're just not any good. I don't know how else to say it, but you look at some of the other scores. There's only one other game in progress currently. It's the game between Colorado and Los Angeles, which we talked about at length earlier on the show. Obviously, the general consensus is, when you have a game at Coors Field, over. But you look at some of the particulars, and this is where I mentioned I like the first 5 under 6.5 or 7, whether you wanted to buy it up or not. Normally with Coors, a lot of the runs are scored late in the game, first of all. And second of all, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the Dodgers can't hit left-handed pitching. I don't care who it is. You saw against the Padres that game. I mean, they couldn't hit water in a boat. And today you had Freeland pitching, Kyle Freeland, who's from the area. He grew up in Denver. He's from that area. You had to figure he was hyped up. I mean, you got to remember, this guy was a first-round pick, 8th overall in 2014. He's a good young pitcher. He's a lefty as well. And you look at early on, I mean, he's no-hitting the Dodgers. Or not no-hitting, he's shutting out the Dodgers. It's only 3 innings in, but if he could just if he can give you 6 innings today, with 1 or 2 run ball, that under probably will come in. And Guad, I know you have the first half under, and I'm glad you played it because I think you're dead right with that. In playing that, Ryu also, you got to point out. I know he's coming off an injury, but he was still a good pitcher, even from limited experience. So for me, I think it's stupid to just blind bet overs in Coors. If you're going to bet overs, I would definitely maybe second half. You might make some money this year betting first half unders, second half overs in Coors. Helton and Tulowitzki run machines. Another dumb comment by you. They haven't been on the team in years. I think you're just trying to be funny. I think the Mets are one of the most overvalued teams in the betting market. We're going to get into them here in a minute. Let's jump into baseball here tonight on Friday. Obviously, let's get into that game first. You get the Mets home, basically even money here against the Miami Marlins. Wei-Yin Chen against Zach Wheeler. Wheeler, look, hasn't pitched in 2 years. You said Helton and Tulowitzki are run machines. They're not even on the team anymore. Todd Helton retired years ago. I mean, what do you mean what? It's a stupid comment by you. You know better than I do they're not on the team anymore. I guess you're just, again, trying to be funny, which you continuously fail at. Which they don't play for Colorado anymore. Todd Helton retired, dude. You're like trying to argue. He hasn't been on the team in years. What are you talking about? You know damn well they're not on the team anymore. That's just another attempt by the Philly guy to try to be funny. It's tired, dude. It's just tired. The guy retired in 2013. It's been 4 years. I didn't say you're arguing. I'm just saying you know damn well that he retired. But back to the Mets. Wheeler hasn't pitched in, 2 years. So obviously that's something we need to remember. Wei-Yin Chen's been kind of a workhorse, but he's been a good pitcher over the years. A guy that I always thought was a decent pitcher for the Orioles. Obviously coming over to the National League, he took his bumps. Look, what you're going to get with Wei-Yin Chen is simple. He's a 4 ERA guy. He's going to give you 5 or 6 innings and hopefully 2 or 3 run ball, and that's going to be a success. Other than that, you don't expect much out of him. But like Bob's saying, I don't particularly think year after year this Mets team's regarded as so good, and they're going to be one of the better. Their lineup sucks. They don't get any better. They don't. They haven't improved really. They still have that same old Darno and that group. Not Darno, sorry. He's with Atlanta now. But, Granderson and Neil Walker and Cabrera and Lucas Duda. It's just, same old stuff. So, for me, I agree. I don't see a ton of power, really. You have Cespedes and Jay Bruce. I'll give you that. But, Jay Bruce, kind of that newcomer. They're going to have to kind of win, 4-2 type of games, 3-2 type of games. Not a great bullpen really either. And as far as being an underdog here, I don't know that I understand that. I actually kind of like the Marlins in this game, to be honest with you. I think their lineup's good. If we can get Chen, give us a couple innings of good baseball tonight, I think they're going to be just fine. Their pitching has saved them. Yeah, sure, agreed. I think Adam Eaton is underrated, very hard to pitch around. Yeah, I like Adam Eaton a whole lot more than I like Ben Revere and Michael Taylor for the Nationals. How can you not? Michael Taylor was a mess, and Revere is just brutal. He's a catcher. I guess his brother Chase plays on the Braves. I'm sorry. Yeah, I like Adam Eaton a lot. I think he's a quick kid. If he gets on base, he's going to steal bases. He stole one earlier for the Nationals. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that was a really nice move by them. I definitely like him way over Michael Taylor or Michael or Ben Revere. Ben Revere is like a guy that, he doesn't walk. He doesn't really. He has zero power at all. I agree wholeheartedly. Let's get into some other ones here. Giants, a small favorite at San Diego, and I would probably look over 8.5 in this game if you ask me. I know we've talked about San Diego's issues scoring runs, but I think San Diego will scratch a couple out tonight against Matt Cain. Matt Cain has really been downtrodden over the years. His ERA has gotten, and I know ERA is not a big deal, but he's not an overall really good pitcher anymore. He's getting up there in age. He's been in the league about 15 years at this point. And his velocity obviously has continued to decrease. You look at ERA over the last, let's say, 3-4 years. 2013, 4, 2014, 4.18, 2015, 5.79, 2016, 5.64. So it was highest in 2015, but it was poor last year. His whip was decently high. Opponents last year hit 299 against Matt Cain. So again, can he even get the Padres out? Not so sure. Perdomo, another guy that I'm not crazy about. The one thing about Cain that I am kind of I do kind of feel decent about it. In his career, 35 starts against San Diego, a 3.14 ERA. So, again, I mean, it's not terrible, but do you trust Matt Cain? I don't. That bullpen's a mess. And Perdomo last year was very average. I mean, he gave up 23 home runs in limited outings. That was 1.41 home runs per 9 innings, which is very high. His ERA was just south of 6. I think we see some runs in this game. If you ask me, I just don't really, I don't really feel comfortable betting a side here, but I think over's decent. I would hammer Nationals to win the National League. I agree. I have them to win the National League. I think Baker's a guy that, look, I think we could talk about him not being trusted. I mean, is there really any manager you trust? I mean, there's a couple guys that are really good, but, I mean, I think they make questionable mistakes at times. I mean, there's plenty of good ones. But I think that the days of Jim Leland are gone. I mean, there's not many left. There's a couple, But even like Joe Madden a lot of guys make mistakes. I think Baker's found a decent niche down there. The niche is, he doesn't have to make a ton of moves. He's kind of a babysitter. He's got a good, he pretty much has everything. It's difficult to fuck something up when you have everything working in your favor. I mean, even a moron can, do well if he's put in the right situation. Some can't. They're just stupid. But I think Baker's a decent manager. He has been questionable, but you're going to get questionable stuff with all managers. That's what I have it. I said Nationals Indians when I first started the previews. One thing to keep in mind, back to that Marlins game for a minute, Wei-Yin Chen obviously has issues with left-handed hitters. They hit 325 off him last year, but he was a good road pitcher. He pitched much better on the road as opposed to at home. So, he'll give you what you get from him, and that's pretty much it. So, as far as that game, I would lean Marlins. Giants Pods, I would lean over. Cubs Brewers, I would maybe look at under 9. I think 9's a little rich here. I think the Cubs, though, may be due to break out and score some runs tonight, but do I think they're going to score 8 or 9? No, and I don't think the Brewers are going to do much of anything here. They, first of all, don't give Nelson much run support. They didn't give him any last year. He had 16 losses, and he actually pitched pretty well. Jimmy Nelson was one of the few good things about the Brewers. I just think 9's a little too high. I think you have Brett Anderson, who I'm not in love with, but he's still a pretty good middle of the road pitcher for a team. Nelson, I think he has some talent, but not a game I'm in love with. St. Louis against the Reds, they're laying a pretty big number here. And I got to tell you, I don't think there's much value in betting them tonight. I've made it clear before, I hate betting on the Cardinals. A lot of the time, they're way too overvalued. The lines are way too high. I don't want to lay run lines with the Cardinals just because they don't score enough runs half the time. It's not often they put crooked numbers up. And you look at tonight, Michael Leake pitching, they say he's more mature this year. What exactly that means, I don't know. Mike Leake isn't a rookie. He's been in the league for a long time. But this kid Amir Garrett pitching for the Reds, can it get much worse for this group? He's the number 2 prospect. People are talking highly of him. He throws 96. I'm not confident in the Cardinals tonight. But if it goes anything like normal, the Reds will get shelled like always. This Reds team is really bad. Right now if you look at lineup-wise, their pitching rotation right now is possibly the worst in the major leagues. Just total slop. Unless this kid pitches well, and you got to almost feel sorry and hope that he does, because the Reds has just been so bad. So bad. I don't see the Cardinals as contenders. I think we always equate the Cardinals as contenders just because, they're always kind of there. But now that the Cubs have emerged, it's hard to ever consider them a team that you feel comfortable with. As far as, their lineup, it's decent. I'm not in love with it. I don't look to bet on them. I've never really bet on them. I just think they're tough to gauge. It seems like for me, They literally score 3 runs or less every game. You just never feel comfortable with them. But, I do like the addition of Fowler in center field. I think that's a nice a player there that they added. Matt Carpenter, I'm not in love with. Diaz is all right. Colton Wong, ugh. Peralta, ugh. Piscotty, Grichuk, all right. Molina, how old is Molina at this point? He's still a good catcher, but do you really want him at the plate? Molina's 34 years old. So, yeah, I'm not high on them either. We'll see. A couple others here, then we'll chat a little NBA. Not going to be a too long of a show today. I mentioned earlier I kind of like the Orioles tonight. It's rare you get them at this price. Under 110 at home. It's actually very much, an odd thing. You don't see it too much. And, I know Baldo's pitching tonight, but, we can't miss how good Baltimore's been at home. Last 3 years, 1-1 and 63 in Camden Yards. Obviously, 2 very good bullpens in this series. But you look at Baltimore, they've won 13 of 18 against the Yankees in Camden Yards. It's been very tough as far as this team going down and winning games in Baltimore. And now you have a team with the Yankees where the usual suspects aren't really there anymore. This is a young team who's going to take their lumps, I think, early on. Chris Archer, didn't really do much against him. Last night 2 nights ago, Cobb shut him down. You're still on the road. You haven't been at home yet. Tough place to play in Baltimore. I think early on the Yankees will struggle. That's just kind of what they have right now. They had to reload, and that's what happens. You got to take your lumps a little bit early on. I don't want to bet against Baltimore. I think Jimenez. Look, do I like backing him? No, but he is decent in the beginning of seasons mostly. Has pretty good career ERA in April. The middle of the months are when you kind of want to get away from him. But Severino, new life. Maybe he'll come and pitch well, but it's kind of been a tough start to his career with New York. I don't really trust him in this spot. A lot of big boppers for Baltimore. Should be a good game to watch, but I think with this price, I think Baltimore's worth a look here, especially at that price. You don't get them very often. Let's do one more here. Most of these games I don't have much of an opinion on. Twins, White Sox, who knows. Royals, Astros. Look, the Royals are bad right now. Jason Vargas is a guy I have no interest in betting on. But, with Houston, is Michael Fyers a guy you want to put and bet 160 on? They've had trouble hitting. Not a lot of value there. Mariners, Angels, who cares? Diamondbacks, Indians, 2 hot teams to start the year. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think the last year from Shelby Miller was a bit of a facade. I don't think he's a guy that is as bad as he was last year. I think he's a guy that, just had a poor year. I think he'll bounce back. It is a tough start to the year, though, facing this Indians team. Both these guys, particularly from Cleveland's point of view, Josh Tomlin, I don't know. He's not a guy I want, starting a game for me. He's an average pitcher. I think they definitely have the edge in the first 5. Maybe a shot with the Diamondbacks, but in the first 5 maybe. But you're just not getting much value here. There's no value in betting the Diamondbacks. If you were getting 150 back on your money, okay. But at plus 110, plus 115, just not interested. You have to look at your bet and say, am I getting a good return back for the investment that I'm making? I don't think you are. Especially with that bullpen, and there's just a lot of stuff that I don't like here. I want to see Shelby Miller for a couple of weeks, and then I'll see where he's at. But he could have value being undervalued later just because of that last year. One other game, I'll look at Texas and Oakland. I think at this price, I think you have some value still. Maybe in the Rangers, maybe laying the 1.5 runs. I know people say, what about that bullpen? But, to be brutally honest with you, I don't know that they're as bad as maybe they've started here. I mean, you got to remember they've only pitched, what is it, 12 innings, 11 innings. And they've been bad. I'm not going to say they haven't, but we also can agree. I mean, Cleveland's kind of been on a tear also. So I don't know that I fully fault them for it. They just haven't pitched well. But tonight, I mean, I think they're going to have a much better go of it. I mean, they got their guy, A.J. Griffin, on the mound who, I got to tell you, was fantastic last year in April. I mean, he was really good for most of 16 until he got injured. 2.52 ERA in 4 starts in April. I really liked what I saw from him last year. I thought he was really impressive. I like this lineup for Texas, obviously. And, for me, I don't know that I really, Oakland's a sneaky team at home, but on the road, I'm just, they don't do much for me. And the kid Alcantara, who's pitching tonight, or Alcantara, Raul, I don't know. I mean, it's his 6th start ever. You look at it in 2016, 22 and a third with the over 7 ERA. So, good luck. Wouldn't be surprised to see the crooked number be put up here, honestly. I think Texas kind of, they had a night to think about it. Are they pissed off? I don't really look into that pissed off stuff, but, I could see them coming out firing here. Maybe first 5 minus a half. It might be the best play on the board, actually. I really believe they have the lead after 5 innings. Alcantara, I'm not. You look at last year, Alcantara. Opponents hit 333 off of him. I mean, he gave up 31 hits in 22 innings, gave up 18 runs. I mean, does anyone feel comfortable that he's going to go out and pitch well today? You heard it here first. Texas rolls big. So that'll be it as far as that's concerned. I think Texas is overvalued in the market. Shin-Chu has not been the same hitter outside of Texas. Well, you would be right probably, but the good thing about tonight's matchup is it's in Globe Life. And Carlos Gomez, it looks like a different hitter. Obviously a lot of young guys down there. I like their lineup. I do. I'm just concerned about their pitchers. That's it. But I get a feeling AJ has a nice game tonight. Might see some runs in this one. What is the over-under in this game? Let me look at that quick. It's high. It's 10. I kind of like the first 5 minus a half for the run line in general. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, that's it. As far as that's concerned, I'd say I like Texas, first 5 minus a half. Do like the run line there as well. Kind of like Baltimore. Marlins maybe. Tread lightly. It's very early. Let's get into some NBA. I will probably have 1 or 2 tonight. One game I did want to make you aware of here tonight in the National Basketball Association. We only have a couple games left. Want to turn our attention to the Cleveland game. Cleveland laying 14 against the Hawks. People are probably wondering why that line's so high. When you pull back the onion and you look at why the line's so high, it opened 10. It's been bet all the way up at one point to 15. It's dropped back down to 14. It was 13.5 for a little bit, back up to 14. But you look at the Hawks, who crushed the Celtics last night, played last night. 103 points a game. You look at who's not playing tonight. They're all listed as doubtful, so probably not going to be in there. Paul Millsap, Dennis Schroeder, Kent Bazemore, Tim Hardaway, and Thabo Cephalosha. Those guys account for 66% of the Hawks' scoring. So I asked myself, I think about tonight. They're playing Cleveland. Cleveland is obviously in a race here against the Celtics. And Millsap's not playing tonight. I look at this game and I just don't know that I understand where they're going to score from tonight. Other than Dwight Howard, they don't have anyone in double figures. So basically, the starting 5 minus Dwight Howard's not going to play tonight. And I've made it clear, I hate Cleveland. I don't like backing Cleveland. And I'm not going to back them here. I just want to point out, don't be surprised to see Cleveland win by 30. Because the Hawks, and again, I've made it clear, these are like the certain situations I like to bet on a team. But I like to bet on a team with injured and maybe one guy's injured, not the whole starting five. I mean, who's the starting five tonight for the Hawks? Is it Dwight Howard, Ersan Ilyasova, Michael Muscala, Taurean Prince, and Jose Calderon? I mean, what is that? I mean, what a junk group. Awful win, back-to-back. This looks like a tough one tonight, honestly, for the Hawks. It could be ugly. So just going to put that out there. That's the big move and why you have a big move. That's not just because of public money saying, "Wow, like the Cavs here." You know, keep in mind though, and public bets the Cavs, and they're very heavily bet in this game. To be honest, best play might be the under in this game. Under's been bet down significantly. Again, I'll say I don't know that I see many points tonight from Atlanta. You know, I know Cleveland has made an attempt at playing some defense. I just don't see Cavs first half might be the play here. And I don't bet NBA first halves too often, but they might be up double digits here at half. And I'm going to guess the first half line's probably like 9. Actually, I'm going to look right now. 8.5. Okay, I was almost right. Yeah, that might be the play here, to be honest. So, good luck if you play it. I just wanted to make everyone aware of that. So, someone asked about Jazz. Yeah, I'm going to get into that here in a moment. It's actually the next game I'm looking at. You got Utah and Minnesota. Minnesota was the other team last night in the game that I played, the Timberwolves-Portland game. Interesting move here. This one opened 204.5. It's down to 197.5. So think about that for a second, guys. That's a 7-point move to the under. We look at the public action here in this game. Now, again, very estimated amount, but I do want to just bring this up quickly. 76% of the money's on the under. So you have a real shift here. I mean, there's a lot of money coming in on the under. People are looking at the game like Bob Thomas is. They play incredible defense. It's not about the teams, Bob. It doesn't matter. The whole world is on the under here. This is a strict system play. There will be a play tonight on the under here in this game. And at 197, that would probably be my tipping point here. This is how I bet the NBA. I don't care about teams. I don't care about whatever. And I got to tell you, I kind of like Minnesota also. Getting 11 points, I don't think Minnesota's that anemic. I think they have a pulse. They're not the Kings or the Lakers or the Suns. They have a pulse. They do have guys that can score. They're not totally inept. I mean, I'm not sure how you bet the under here, especially with all that money coming in on the under. Look, if you got 204.5, okay, you might be onto something there. But at 197, no fucking way. No, I said the plays here, the people are betting the under. I'm on the over. Matter of fact, I'm betting it right now, 197.5. But you look at the Timberwolves. I mean, we all know they're not completely inept. I mean, Ricky Rubio and we, our boy Karl Towns, who 25 points a game. Wiggins has been great. I might do one of those little, one of my favorite plays coming up was the reverse, taking the T-Wolves and the over here. This will definitely be a play I'll put out on Twitter. Definitely. So you got it here first. If I were you, try to get the best number. If you get 197.5, whatever you can get, take it. And again, I mean, you also look at the side here. The side opened 8.5. George Hill's doubtful. And it's a bet up to 11. And it's all money coming in on the Jazz. Very little pushback from T-Wolves backers. As far as the side's concerned, you have a lot of money on the Jazz. And a lot of people are thinking that back-to-back and all that stuff. I'm going to do it. I'm going to probably go Timberwolves in the under here, or the over here. So stand by. A couple others here, just as notes, just kind of see where we're looking at here. The Heat, Toronto, not a big opinion on that one. Lowry's back in there. The Heat, obviously have played really well in the second half of the season. You look in the second half. I mean, they're 20-9. So, yeah, good point, Con. Good to see you back, man. Allahu Akbar. They are. That's a great point. Yeah, I love it. I love betting against money, public money. It's fucking. This is how it's so fun betting the NBA, because you're always on the other side of all the shitheads. But yeah, you look at Miami here. For me, there's just not a ton of interest. Again, it is Lowry's first game back. It's at home. That's a great point, Bob. Which you actually kind of I see your excitement here. In this one, and you might be onto something here. I just, look, 5 is a bad number, Bob. I mean, 4.5, you can get 4.5 in any book. Pinnacle, 5 Dimes, Bookmaker, Bet Online, they're all 4.5. You might be onto something. Mavs -5, Spurs putting out a D-League roster. I got to see. I got to look at that one. I got to see who's actually playing. But yeah, I mean, early money's coming in on the Spurs. I got to look at that lineup because, with Kawhi out, with LaMarcus out, you might be onto something there. But look, I mean, we got to be frank about Dallas. Let me look at something here. Give me 1 second here. As far as Dallas is concerned, I mean, they're not a team that they're probably not going to get a playoff spot here. Actually, they're not going to get a playoff spot. So what exactly are they? Neither team really playing for much here. Not a particularly strong bet either way. You know what? For me, if you said to me, hey, I'm going to give you a free bet on the Spurs Mavericks game, I would probably go under at 189. I mean, money coming in on the over. The steam's pushing it up. It's only up about 2.5 points, but I get the feeling this is like a 91-81 type of game. I think this is real low scoring. What's Ryu doing? What's he fucking up? I have to see here. What's he doing? It's got to be close to the 5th inning, no? I mean, it's the bottom of the 5th, dude. Relax. Yeah, dude. What are you mad about? Come on, dude. It's the bottom of the 5th. You act like it's the 3rd inning and its bases loaded. You're good. He's going to get his out here. You're good to go. Relax. Come on, man. I thought you were acting like they were getting. It was like 4-1, and you were bases loaded. You might be getting out of it. Come on, Quan. You know better than that. You got it. You're good. You got 3 runs to work with here, and you got the pitcher up. Yeah, it's the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-1. He's the under 6.5. He can give up 3 runs and he still wins. And he's about to get the pitcher out here. We'll see. I mean, it would be a horrible beat if you lose, put it that way. Yeah, Spurs I'm not too interested in. Another shit show tonight's going to be the Grizzlies and Knicks. Obviously no one's playing for... No one's really playing for the Grizzlies, actually no one's really playing for the Knicks. I'm sorry. I mean, Derrick Rose out, we know that. Carmelo's doubtful. Kristaps Porzingis, he's questionable. Yeah, there are. I mean, there really are a lot of bad games tonight. I also kind of don't really understand, this move here in this Kings-Laker game. It seems like every time I bet the Lakers, they don't score. Why is that total so high? I know they're bad defensively, which is probably why. Yeah, but I'm not. I don't really feel comfortable laying 13 with the Grizzlies. I don't know. I'll stay away. The only real bets that I'm looking at are going to be that T-Wolves over, and maybe that Spurs under. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. This this team on the Spurs or on the Kings. I'm not seeing that. Either way, I'm not betting it. It's bad. If you're new, which several of you guys are, I dabble in the Arena League, which is always fun. The Arena League numbers are always very soft. You always get a lot of, Again, I mean, but the Kings do too. So I don't really know that. They got to keep losing too. But you're right. The Lakers definitely have more of a reason to lose. So I would agree with you. I would probably say take the Kings money line there. I mean, if you're going to take that game, why not just take the? Why not just take the 130? Just take the Kings on the money line. I mean, I know they're bad without Cousins, but any worries on Warriors bench? Warriors aren't playing tonight. So, therefore, I don't care about them tonight. But I'm not sure what your question is. But you can gladly tell me your question, and I'll see if I can understand. This would be really a brutal beat if you lose this under here. I think Denver rolls. Yeah, I could see it, but I don't really. There's no real move that concerns me in that game. I hope you're right, but anywhere nah. Yeah, look, I mean, is their bench as good as last year? No, and I don't really understand why they got rid of like Spates. I don't really get that move, but yeah, look, I think there's some general concern with their depth chart. Now, obviously, their starting five speaks for itself, but and look, McGee's given them a lot. He's been good for them, and obviously Iguodala. I think Matt Barnes is better than people think. David West is going to give you minutes. Sean Livingston. I mean, look, if you're concerned about their bench, well, you're kind of grasping for straws. Their starting five is going to play most of the time anyway, and I think they have enough. I mean, they're not going to have the problem that they did last year. Put it that way, with Bogut out. Bogut being out killed their chances. This year, I don't think they're going to have that problem because they can throw at David West at you. They can throw Pachulia at you. They can throw McGee at you. They're very good. I mean, very good. So, signing a guy, and you're right, signing a guy like Durant hurts your bottom line as far as other guys you can keep. But, they did fine. Do I think there's a team that's as good as them? No. But I do think the Spurs will give them problems. I kind of think they may even beat them. We'll see. Tonight, as far as the Arena League is concerned, first game of the year, which, for anyone that doesn't know, all right, just let it rock. You'll be all right. We're all here for you. You need a DP. You got to get a ground ball here. The Arena League's fun. I mean, you always see a lot of points and that kind of thing. So keep a lookout for Arena League because it's high flying. Tonight you got the Baltimore Brigade against the Washington Valor, which are two new teams in the Arena League. I know Teddy Covers, who many of you know. He was a guy that made, back when they put lines out for these games in Vegas, he made a ton of money on Arena League. He was a guy that was a big proponent of that. I dabble in it a little bit. I got to look more into these teams. These are two very new teams, so I probably won't bet on this one, but I will be looking at this league. It's fun, so a lot more action than any other league. So we'll see how that goes. I think before we talk about anything else, we should figure out what happens here in this Colorado game. There you have some outs. What do we got? DB, double play? Oh, no. Well, you're working. You're fine. You really need, a total collapse here from Ryu. I mean, you got to take it out all the way. The single to Freeland hurt. I mean, that's an automatic out you need to have. So give a run up. I mean, any ground ball, you're good. I mean, you need 3 runs. You need 4 runs to lose. As long as the bases aren't loaded, I think you're going to be fine. But we're here for you, nonetheless. And, hey, I want you to hit too. I mentioned I like the under. So that's Coors for you. But lastly tonight, and I'll recap if you missed here at the end. Lastly tonight, Billy Walters, who, I think for anyone that's new in the gambling community or doesn't know much about the gambling community, look, if you don't know who Billy Walters is, you should educate yourself. I mean, Billy Walters is really the greatest sports bettor ever. He's really the only guy that has been able to do such huge things in this industry. He's the most successful. He's done a ton as far as, the way we can bet, the way we can't. I mean, he just has made the game totally different. And if you haven't seen it, CBS did a 60 Minutes on him several years ago. They very well may make a movie on him after all this. I mean, but I think the big thing with Billy Walters at this point is, the complete just greed factor behind Billy Walters. I mean, we have to remember. I mean, Billy Walters inherited a lot of money from who? His mom was dirt poor. His family was dirt poor. He came out to Vegas because he had to leave Kentucky because he was a gambler and he was a bookmaker. And he was indicted. Who did he inherit a lot of money from? That's not the story I know, but he was dirt poor. But you look at Billy Walters, I mean, his personal wealth is $200+ million. I mean, he's got a $20 million jet, 7 homes. One of his homes in Florida is worth $30 million. And you look at him, I mean, 70 years old, close to 70 years old, and look at all the things he's done in his life, all the money he's made, all the big bets he's made. And it wasn't enough. He had to get involved with the stock market. And it's funny because I remember on somewhere I saw him, he mentioned some of the biggest losses he's had, and this was before all this went on. The biggest losses were in the stock market, and he still felt the need to add to his wealth and try to make money in the stock market. You look at what he did in this insider trading case, $43 million he made from his trades based on illegal information that he got from people. But you look at the case and you kind of look at it and say to yourself, how did it all happen? I mean, you look at kind of some of the people involved, the Dean's Foods guy who was the rat behind everything. I mean, a guy that, from the looks of it, doesn't seem too, it doesn't seem like someone I'd believe too much. I mean, he was a degenerate gambler that Billy basically gave money to help himself for his divorce and gambling issues and prostitution stuff. He didn't seem credible, but it seemed like Billy kind of reminds. No, Phil didn't have to. Phil didn't have to testify. He just had to pay back the money. He wasn't charged. But you look at Billy Walters, you kind of look at him as like John Gotti in a way, because for John Gotti it was always the feds couldn't convict him. He was the Teflon Don. We all knew it. And the feds to this day have a hard-on for the Gotti family, and they can't cross the street without being indicted. And Billy Walters, I mean, skated by the federal government a couple times. And it seemed from the quotes that I've read, they were dead set on getting him, finding him guilty in this point. For me, though, when I look at the case, it kind of seems, it kind of looks shaky. I can't believe that this guy was made credible, but it doesn't hurt Billy's case that he was, talking on, burner cell phones. I mean, listen, there's a reason you have a burner cell phone. You don't want it traced. I mean, everybody knows that. No, I would. Listen, here's what I'll do. I'll definitely write him in jail. Put it that way. I'll try. But he doesn't talk on camera. It's very, very. The only times I've ever seen him on camera were the 60 Minutes interview, and he did a short, 2-minute video a couple years ago when somebody was trying to say that they had his plays and he was selling them, and he made it a video saying that he doesn't sell picks and he's not a tout. Other than that, I've really never seen anything involving him. I'll try. I mean, I'll try to get him from SBR. I'll definitely write him and try. Because, look, he's going to do time. He's probably going to do 8 to 10, probably. They're not going to give him 20 years. But he's going to do time. And he'll probably be down in some, summer camp down in Pensacola or one of those. I mean, and the jail he's going to is going to be, it's federal, but it's a shit show. I mean, it's, it's nothing. It's like where Tim Donaghy was. It's like a summer camp. They have yoga and shit. It's like the lowest form of camp you're going to have. I mean, there's no fences. There's nothing. It's like a hotel, basically. It's like townhouses. He's going to do time. It was many insiders that pointed that out. And we have to also understand, it's not like he hasn't been. I don't know who you're reading on, Bob. I mean, clearly, because there's plenty of people that are locked up for insider trading at this level. I mean, he made a lot of money, dude. Exactly. Well, I mean, listen, all I can say is what I've read. But we'll see. This isn't the first time he's been indicted either. So I guess we'll see. He'll be fined, but from what I've read, insiders have said he'll probably go to jail. So we'll see. But either way, it all goes back to greed, and you kind of ask yourself, why wasn't what you were doing enough? Like, why wasn't the, let's say, $200 million you're worth enough? So we'll see. Who knows? But shame on him. So you're scot-free here. You're good. 2 outs. You got 2 men on. You give up a home run here, and you're still good. We'll stay on until it's over, though, for sure. Catch me tonight, late night on campus, 10 o'clock Eastern. I ask all of you, we got plenty of people on here. Here's what I want you all to do. I want you to, because several of you on here seem to be know-it-alls. So here's what I want you to do. I want to have you all, okay, Bob, you know everything. We forgot. You always have an answer for everything. So here's what I want you to do, Bob. I want you to hashtag LNOC. I want you to ask me general knowledge questions. We can have some fun later tonight on the show. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about baseball, NBA. We're going to talk about what's going on. We're also going to talk about the issues in the world right now. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. Try and stump me. I want to see if you can stump me. I think the point you're missing is Walter's pride did not want to lose money or then make it. Why he sold, not bought on insider info. Okay. I mean, Bob, we're just talking out loud here. This is more of a gambling talk. I mean, it's not really meant for like high level conversation. I just find it interesting. That's all. Most lawyers are like know-it-alls, so they know everything. We do have an interesting development here in Philadelphia. It looks like the Phillies are closing in, so they're not exactly an absorbent team. I mean, they can do a little damage, but you wonder, Max Scherzer was pulled, 98 pitches, he's kind of time, and Sammy Solis comes in, of course, and gives up a double and a home run. So quality stuff from Sam. Great stuff tonight. We'll see what happens in that one. Hopefully, the Washington Nationals can add on a little bit because that one's getting too close for comfort. You need one more out here, bro. Then we're going to hang up. We're hanging on the air just because some of our friends here have plays on the under in the first 5 for the Rockies-Dodgers. So, yeah, Bob, get on the LNOC. We'll have some fun with that. Ask some tough, hard-hitting questions. Shame on Putin today as far as clearly Putin's a fuckhead, but what are you referring to? Like, were they involved? I don't think there's any denying that they were not involved. Of course they were. They had people on the ground in Syria at that place. So I'm sure they were involved. Do we have a winner yet? I guess I was stupid for staying on the air because I'm literally sitting here with nothing to talk about. What's everybody doing tonight? Anyone doing anything fun? Interesting article here. America's top 10 cushiest prisons. I guess after Bernie Madoff was sentenced to, and Buettner, they did a list. And they asked, inmates what would be their most desirable prison. Over 150 prisons in the federal system. Where did they want to spend their time? The distinction went to FCI Otisville, which is not a camp. It's usually for medium or low security designation, so they would avoid mingling with the worst of the worst. Prison boasts kosher food, regular access to a rabbi, so it's good for Jewish inmates, and you're close to New York City. Interesting. What do you think the odds are that Duke gets Knox, Duval, and Bomba? What are the odds? I would say probably, 30%. I don't think they're going to get Bomba. I don't think there's any way. Because, you think about it, they already have Wendell Carter. So, why would Bomba want to go there? He's possibly the best big in the country. And putting Wendell and him on the same team, while it'd be awesome, I think they'll get Trayvon Duval. I think they'll get someone like that, but I don't think Mohamed Bamba is going to go to Duke. Plus, you also got to look at Trayvon Duval. I think he'd be an awesome fit there with Gary Trent. That would be fantastic. But as far as Kevin Knox, I don't know. I don't. Kevin Knox is an interesting figure. He's a 3, so he would really fit anywhere. But I said it before, and I'll say it again. If Kansas can somehow get Duval, Knox, and Billy Preston, look out. They already got Billy Preston. If they could somehow land even one of those two, they're going to be really good. But I don't think Duke will get all 3. No, I actually got to tell you, I think Bomba's going to go to Michigan. I really do. I think he's been high on Michigan. But here's the kind of the thing about Michigan and why the odd man out. I think maybe Kentucky is going to be that. But then you look at Kentucky and you say, well, they signed Nick Richards, who's a center. They signed P.J. Washington. Why would he want to go to Kentucky? But he's got Quad A there, and him and Quad A are friends. I don't get too defensive. I hate when people go against what I'm saying. I don't like know-it-alls. And to argue with me about Slobodan Milosevic is something you don't want to do. He died before they could. I think we all know as Albanians he was the main starter of all that stuff. I don't want to argue, but let's move on from that. I don't really want to talk about it. He died. What they do after he dies, I don't really. He did it. He hurt a lot of my people. He killed a lot of my people, and he's. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just move on. But back to Bamba and them. Yeah, listen, Best Gambler, I know you want Bamba and those guys, but look, I wouldn't be mad about Gary Trent and Wendell Carter, and I think you'll still get someone. Maybe if you can get Kevin Knox, I think you'd be all right with that, right? No, I didn't talk about Wichita State. We talked a little bit earlier. Yeah, listen, I think Newman's going to be great. I think they're going to be really good next year. You got Malik Newman. If you can get, some of the, you already got Billy Preston. If you could somehow land one of those guards, I mean, that's so big, especially with some of the guys that are leaving there. But All-Star games, starting an All-Star game is a little bit different than starting on a team. So I don't think Mohamed Bamba is going to go to Duke. I think it's either Kentucky or Michigan. We'll see. Yeah, as far as Wichita State, I think that's awesome. I'm excited about that because I go to Temple games a lot and we have fun there. So yeah, that'll be cool. I think it's going to always obviously help Wichita's case. They always make cases that they belong, and I think now they're going to be able to make that case that they belong. So yeah, I think it's great. It's only going to help the conference, and it's only going to help them and everyone else. So now, because let's be honest, the AAC, other than in basketball, other than SMU, Houston, Cincy, Temple, when good. There's really not that many good teams. So adding a team like Wichita is going to be great for the league. Shocked to see Kennard declaring for the draft. I'm shocked to see a lot of people declaring for the draft, honestly, but we'll leave that to another discussion. Everyone have a great night. I'll be back later on the Late Night on Campus, 10 o'clock Eastern. Join us as we chat about everything going on in the world of sports, entertainment, life, whatever you want to talk about. Send in your questions. Try and stump me. Late Night on Campus, hashtag LNOC. Yeah, so, all right, guys, enjoy it. Everyone have a great night. It's fun participating, and appreciate everyone's candor. Everyone have a great night. See you later. Bye-bye.